Okay, so we're back again, and this time I just wanted to show everybody. I was a little surprised. I went to a aquarium friend of mine, and I was showing him some of my videos, and he said, "Wow, what are those plants that are hanging in your tank?" And I said, "They're not plants. They're just yarn spawning mops." I kind of thought a lot of people knew about those, but he seemed to not know about this. So I figured, let me just make a quick video of how I make mine, and see if that will help anybody. So the first thing I do is I always get a 100%, I don't know if you can see that, 100% acrylic yarn. Now this I got from, I think it was Ollie's, and it was $3.99. And the reason why I like this is because I like the color, actually. It kind of reminds me of plants, you know? So what I do here is I have this Tupperware, and it's not a Tupperware top, I'm sorry, that was a lie. It's a top from a Grip Right. It's like from Home Depot, a box of like framing nails or whatever, but I just happen to use it because it's about the length that I like. So what I do is I just start with a little bit of an over, a little bit longer than the actual thing here. And my number is 50, so I like to go 50 because it seems like it's a pretty good amount of yarn once you cut them. So I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold this off to the side a little bit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. And what I'll do is I'll give it a little extra, but I like to go really long on that. And then I'll just make my cut. Okay, so now what I do is I take this long one, and it's a little kind of you got to be a little careful, because what I do is I take this long one and I like to wrap it around the back of these. So just pull that up and pull it through underneath. So I want to try to get around the bunch of them, right? And I might go one more time around the back again. Hopefully this is all getting caught on the video. One more time through there. And the reason why I do that is because when you cut them down here to make them up, it's easy to just pull those strands right through. So you really want to try to be careful with that. So go real tight there, and then I'll just give it a nice little knot. Okay, and I'll go again. And actually, you might want to go, well, you might want to go underneath again, let's say, just to give it a little bit of, like I said, you don't want to, I'm going to go through underneath with this one too. You don't want to go too loose, because once you, which I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, so now you got a nice tight top knot there. Okay, oh, and there you go. Okay, so now what I do is I just take this end and I'll just give it a, I'm not even sure what they call this kind of knot, but just, one looks just like a little knot. Try not to leave a ton of extra on the top there. So I'll just go like that. You don't want to pull too much. And then what I do is I just grab my scissor and I'll go on this side here, and I'll just cut straight across like so. Careful, don't cut your fingers. Okay, and now you have your mop. Now, the only thing I would recommend is if you've made, like I usually make like 5 of them or so, and if you made them, it's always good to just go and kind of wash them. I don't want to say wash them, but squeeze them out under cold water, because I noticed that when I do that, they do seem to give off what looks to be like a little bit of suds. Now, I don't know if it's just something that maybe they apply to the yarn in the manufacturing process or whatever. I've never had a problem with any of the yarn mops that I put in my tanks, but I definitely give them a good rinse and make sure that any of the little bubbles might be on there. Now again, I don't know, like I said, I have no idea why it gives off some bubbles sometimes, but a little safe than sorry, right? So that's one. I'm just gonna put that down in here for a second, over here, and I'll just make another quick one just to show you guys. I'm sure you're getting sick and tired of hearing my voice, so I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just like to get this out of the way a little bit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 6, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and I give that extra one long, and right about there. Okay, so now, again, I go behind it and just grab the whole thing and just slide this underneath if I can. I hope I'm getting this on the video. Slide this underneath, and I'll go around one more time, and then just bring it way up to the top here, like so. Give it a really good tug, and then you can bring this one around, and then again you could kind of give it a couple of wraps, I guess, just to definitely give it so that, like I said, so that when you cut it, you can't just pull the strings out. Now again, your fish aren't going to be pulling the strings out, so you have to be really crazy to end up doing that anyway. If you're a little careful, it's not going to happen. So again, give it a pretty tight pull, because you definitely want it to be tight in there, otherwise it will, if it's too loose, it's just going to come out. So then give it that, and then I'll go one more time, like so, and then I just give it a... Now, when you put it in your tank, what I did was, and I'll show you real quick, what I do is, the tops of my tanks, I guess any tank really you could do it on, but my tanks all seem to have frames on top, and what I do is I just will cut a piece of PVC. I think I've done some metal, I think it might have been like a metal clothes from a closet, like a clothes hanger pole, so I cut a couple of those. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really like the metal ones. I did a few wood ones. I'm not too thrilled with both of those. The PVC seems to be so much better because it's not going to rust, it's not going to get wet and deform or whatever. You could also pick up different sizes. Now I think this is 1.25 inches. You could probably do 1 inch. I think these ones are actually a little big, but what I do is I just measure. My frame of my fish tank has a little lip on both sides, so I just measure it so that it sits in the frame, and I'll show you that in a second. And let's see if we can do that. You see right there how that just sits right in there, and I just hang the mops right on there. Okay, and that's it. I hang them in there, and they float down, and they do a really good job of they give they just give the fish a ton of places to hide, to lay their eggs. Usually what will happen is, like these guys right here,
I'll just be looking and I'll be like, oh yeah, they're all hanging out and stuff. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh my God, there's all little baby fish floating around in there, like, So today, oh, here's another thing I'm just on my way to doing. Let me just see if I got. So I never have wood in my tanks. And I got a couple of pieces of pretty cool wood that I had actually in my backyard. So I cleaned them up pretty good. Now I'm totally impatient, and I'm not gonna wait for on YouTube. There's videos of guys who like boil them, then sand them, and then boil them again, then put them under water for a week, then take them out, then dance with them, then put them under boiling water for a week, and I'm like I'm not gonna do that. So what I did is I had this tank. There's no fish in here yet. As you can see, it is already starting to get taken over by the trumpet snails, which I don't really mind yet, because I think what's going to end up happening is I think I'm going to end up making this tank I don't know if I'm going to get pea puffers or maybe yo-yo loaches, but something that eats snails. I don't want to get assassin snails, because then somebody said you're just kind of like going to have a super population of assassin snails. So I was thinking about pea puffers. I'm not too sure about pea puffers because, although I think they're so cool, people say they're a little aggressive with each other and other fish mates. So I'm not into that. Loaches, those yo-yo loach guys, seem pretty cool. But I'm not exactly sure if I'm into the whole loach thing, like those long, snaky looking guys. I know the yo-yo loaches are pretty cool because they're not so long and snaky, and they have that black and white kind of deal going on. So they do look pretty cool. But what I'm going to do is, after these pieces of wood start sinking down on their own, I'll set up a little aquascape. Throw some plants in there, some pothos or whatever, just to get some roots going. Because you see pothos just goes crazy in there. It just all they do is just stick some cuttings, and it just, the roots just go nuts, So I guess that is all for today, and I hope it helped out. Let me cut this. And we'll throw these on the little PVC pipe there in that tank. And what I'm going to do is, after I wash these, I'll throw them on that PVC pipe. And I don't have any fish in this 90-gallon tank either. Right now it's just kind of cruising along, cycling along. What I'll do is I'll hang them and let them kind of soak up some water so that they will sink a little bit. Otherwise they do tend to kind of float around a little bit. And then after that, I'll trade them for the ones that are actually in this 90. Let me just get back there. So I'll trade them for these guys that are in here now, since these guys have been in here for a while, and they probably, uh-oh. You know who that is. Here you go. Don't play shy. And hurry up back. I got one more, and that's it. That's all you're getting. What a pain. What a pain. So anyway, I'll trade them with these guys here, and then these guys I actually want to put them in here, I think, because my glow Corey guys down there in the corner, they look like they want something to hide under. So I'm going to throw this on. And that seems to also give them an excuse to throw their eggs and start breeding. Because I'd like to really let them start breeding like crazy in this tank. And then what I'll end up doing is, depending on, you see there's quite a bit of guppies going on in here. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm probably going to end up putting another 55-gallon right up in here, and I'll probably end up taking half of those or lots of those guppies out of there and putting them up there, and same thing with the mollies eventually. because I do have one more 55-gallon tank in the other room that's just empty and sitting there, so that could go over there. And then I have 3 20 gallons. Those two. Oh, here you go, buddy. Where are you? Where are you? Here. All right, all right. Don't play shy. We know you're faking it. And so then I'll split up maybe these mollies because they're also seems to be there's quite a lot of them in here. So, but that's good. I don't mind. And all right, so I guess that's all for this video. And see you later.